Some ice for my cup, I drink wet.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Today is October 28th, 2021. Halloween is right around the corner, so happy Halloween to anyone who celebrates Halloween. So, I just want to make a quick video about interracial relationships. This is something that's been on my mind for a while. Um, Personally, I have no issue with it, especially if you're doing it for the right reason. If it's on some self-hatred type stuff, then of course I'm not going to agree with that. But if it's a genuine reason, something that is something that you can actually defend, then I have no problem with it. If it's somebody you truly in love with or somebody you truly want to build with, then it shouldn't be a problem. Um, but in the black community, I think, especially for black women, I think they seem to take interracial relationships a little harder. And I'm not saying all black women. I'm not saying all, but you hear, me personally, I tend to hear black women complain about black men dating outside of their race a lot more than I hear black men complain about black women, even though they do it. But that's just me, right? And I think one of the main reasons why is because, you know, uh, men. Well, I'm sorry, women outnumber men, but especially black women outnumber men because, black men tend to have a lot, have a lot of elements that kind of take us out of the picture. There's a lot of black men not in the household, so there's a lot of elements that we have to deal with. So, a lot of black women don't really have a lot of options, especially depending on what city she lives in. If you live in you know, like a city where there's not a lot of opportunities, then you don't have much to pick from. Much to choose from. It's slim pickings. I guess you have to get out the city where you live at. But anyway, I think that a lot of black women tend to get hit a lot harder because of they may feel like they don't have a lot of options anyway. But the thing is, I want to talk about Jeannie Mai and Young Jeezy's relationship, and to me, it's kind of funny how one thing that's kind of got me is how anybody knows anything about Jeannie Mai is for a long time she didn't want to have children, right? For a very long time, and I think she's over 40 years old, and she didn't even start having children until now, until after she starts dating Young Jeezy. And that's interesting to me because, maybe, I don't know if how much race plays a part in this, but the fact that, it's just something that kind of caught my attention, how she was dating a white man and divorced him and got with a black man and had children. Now, I'm not saying that she had him because he's black or whatever, but I think that when it comes down to it, I guess you have to be with the right person. I'm thinking that the reason why she didn't want to have children in the first place is because I think she was probably in an environment where she didn't feel safe enough to have children. I realized that women have to be at a certain level of comfort, a certain comfortable environment to want to do certain things. And I realized that if you want a woman to do certain things, especially if you're a man and you're listening, if you want your woman to do certain things, sometimes the key is actually comfort. Like if you want a woman to be more feminine, you have to kind of prove to her that you're trustworthy, that she can kind of sit back and let you be the man, that you're good at making decisions, and so she doesn't feel like she has to stay masculine, and she has to uh, take responsibility for everything. Sometimes you just gotta let her feel more comfortable, and in this situation, I feel like Jeannie Mai, she's with a man with her husband. I don't know his name. I think maybe she was in a relationship that was very dysfunctional, and her not wanting to have children was actually a response to an uncomfortable environment where she did not feel safe. Maybe young Jeezy's doing something that made her feel a lot happier. One thing I noticed ever since Jeannie Mai has got with Jeezy, she's been a lot more open about her relationship than she was when she was married. I noticed they take a lot more pictures. You barely see any pictures with Jeannie Mai and her ex husband. But you see a lot of pictures with Jeezy. They seem to vacate a lot. I don't know. It's just something different. I noticed a difference in Jeannie Mai ever since she got with Jeezy. And I think that this is one of the reasons why I feel like you shouldn't stay so strict about what race of person you date with, because you might be missing out on something. Sometimes a person from another culture can sometimes make you realize things about your life that is not very good. Sometimes, like I said, like I was talking about earlier, how a lot of black women, you may have black women who live in the city, so they date men from the city or date men from around her area. But if she gets out and dates a man from a different city or a different environment, he makes her realize how dysfunction her environment really is. It's kind of like growing up in the hood. You don't realize you're poor until you go into a wealthy person's house and you realize how small your house is, or how you realize how dirty your neighborhood is until you actually go into a clean neighborhood. And sometimes when you date a person from a different culture, they can help you see things that are, um, a little different. So I think maybe the same thing for Jeezy. Maybe Jeezy's, once he got with Jeannie Mai, maybe she showed him some different things that he never been exposed to before, a different way of looking at things, looking at life, different perspectives. And so interracial relationships are, I don't think they're a bad idea, and I believe that black women should be more open. And I'm a black man saying this. I think that black women should be more open to other races. But I think the problem that we have today, especially for black women, is the image, the stereotype. I think a lot of men from other cultures, they have uh, a negative perception of black women. And I think a lot of it's because of media, and even some black men, I think, are kind of responsible for it too, in a way of how they're being portrayed on TV. And so, but the thing is, I think that can be changed. I think that it can be changed if you change the way you present yourself in public. You have to see. I'm a black man, right? And when I go to work a new job or working a job that's in corporate, I know for a fact that a lot of white folks, not everybody, I'm not saying everybody, but I know a lot of white folks that work on that job is going to have a certain expectation of me based on what they see on TV, based on music that they listen to. They're going to expect me to maybe dress a certain way, talk a certain way. And I try to show them that I'm not necessarily the stereotypical black man that you see on TV. And that's not what all black men really are. Yes, you have guys like this, you have guys like that, but you can't sit here and make have this idea, this perception of what I am based on what you see on TV. So I think black women have to do the same thing, but I think that's their responsibility, though. I think it's black women's responsibility to beat the stereotype of what you see on TV. That's why, I encourage you want to get your education, but if you're going to get your education, I think getting an education is good, but I don't think it's a good idea to get an education to prove that you don't need a man. I don't think that's a good reason to go to school and go to college. I think you should go to college, get an education to better yourself, and find a man while you're there. You have a lot of women who that I see of other races that go to college, they get an education and find a good man while they're there. That's why I never understood sometimes where I hear some people say, well, I'm not in a relationship right now because, I'm in school right now. But at the same time, I see a lot of people who are in school and have a a man at home or got a girlfriend at the same time. You know, you have some people who will say that the reason why they're not in a relationship is because they're too busy with their careers. But there's plenty of people out there who have careers and have a relationship. So my question is, what does education and career, what does that have to do with being in a relationship with somebody? Those are two totally different things. Those things are separate. You know, uh, why would you postpone being in a relationship so you can focus on a career? We have plenty of people out there who have a career and got a man at home or got a wife at home, got kids. They can balance. You mean you can't balance the two? Most people seem like they can. You know, so you know, so I think that don't limit yourself to, just don't limit yourself. I think a lot of people have I don't know where this fear comes from of this fear of saying that you need somebody. You know, saying that you're lonely. Admit that you're lonely and that you need somebody. You know, saying there's nothing wrong with that. You know, saying come out and say, I need a man. I need a woman. Just say it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, you're not whole by yourself. You're just one half of a species, of a creation. You got male and female. You know, almost every creature, even plants and flowers and trees, even they got male and female. So if you're a female or you're just a male, to me, it's not a good idea, or it's not healthy to have this idea that you don't need the other half, because you're not meant for that. It's not you're not built to be alone. We're social creatures. Staying alone too long, you actually start to develop mental issues when you're alone for too long, and that's been proven. So you have to, it's okay to just be what you are. It's okay to say, I need a man. I need a woman. I need help. That's asking for help doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you strong. It's actually makes you smart. Really, it makes you smart to say that you don't need help from anybody. You just want to do everything up by yourself. You actually sound kind of stupid when you do that. That's what stupid people do. They sit there and don't admit when they need help. They don't ask questions. So anyway, that's all I want to talk about is interracial relationships. This is something that's been on my mind for a while, and maybe I'll see y'all next time. Good.